Hello, everyone. Welcome tonight to the next workshop for LERA Health. Last week, we had our official kickoff of our beta, and tonight is the actual kickoff of a whole series of weekly workshops that we're going to be having every Wednesday. Tonight, we actually have friends and family of our beta members here tonight as well. So welcome, everybody. Great to have you all here. I want to introduce, make sure everybody knows Alex. Most of you, if you attended last week, you got to meet her. Alex wears many hats for LERA. Most important is she basically handles all the operational, making sure that our service gets delivered as seamlessly as possible. So thank you, Alex. I thought we would kick off tonight with just a quick overview of some changes that we're going to do tonight and how we're running the webinar. So Alex, can you just talk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Jenny. So same as last week, you will still be able to post anything in the Q&A, and you can opt to do that anonymously. We will also have a series of polls in which you can participate, and you will also remain anonymous. We'll also have some open-ended questions that Lynn would like to engage you on, specifically about how the detox went. We cannot wait to hear about that. So if you actually want to volunteer and share your experience, all that we're going to ask you to do is raise your hand as the participant, and I'll allow you to be able to verbally share your experience live. You're not able to do so right now because this is a webinar format, but we'd like to enable some of you to come off of mute and share some of those experiences. So when Lynn prompts you, if you want to share something, just go ahead and raise your hand and we will allow you to do so. We're looking forward to hearing about your experience.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, so I thought before we go deep into the subject for tonight, which is all about LERA Foundations, I thought it would be helpful for us just to take a step back and walk through the process once again. We are about 2 weeks in. Your LERA membership includes 2 sets of labs, your personalized health plan, which is sort of really at the core of everything that LERA is going to be offering for you, which is very personalized health solutions to help you reach your health goals. Your membership also includes 3 sessions with your dedicated health coach, 3 mindfulness coaching sessions, and of course, our weekly workshops, where we hope you all walk away better informed and really excited and pumped to integrate the learnings from these workshops into your health journey. By now, just about everybody has completed their labs. I think we have 4 clients that are still outstanding, and everyone has completed their health assessment. The next step for everyone is to get your personalized health, your individualized personalized health plan. We have, during our beta, of course, this is all a lot of learnings for us. The process with LabCorp is taking longer than we had anticipated. Right now, we've got about half of everyone's labs back from LabCorp. So as we receive them in, we're running all of your health data, which came through the health assessment that you guys did and all of your lab data. We're running that through our recommendation engine, which is then followed by a thorough review by Lynn and Mark to make sure that the engine is replicating everything that happens in their actual protocols and in their brains that they do, with their patients every day. We are going to be having the first batch of PHPs ready to go out by the end of this week. So those clients will be able to schedule and have their health coaching visits next week. And then every Wednesday hereafter, we're going to be releasing the next batch. Our goal is that we will have everybody have in hand their PHP within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So by early August, everyone will be on their way with their health journeys. The other thing that I wanted to mention to you guys was about the supplements. I know everyone received an email from Get Healthy. It actually looked like it came from us, but it was actually from Get Healthy. And this is one of those like glitchy beta experiences that we will definitely be improving when we go live to market in 2024. But everyone was asked to, should have gotten an email to go in and create your own password within Get Healthy. So now you all have your account. What we're going to be doing right before you get your PHP is creating a shopping cart with the recommended supplements that came out of the out of your PHP. So it'll be super easy. You'll be able to just click on a link in your PHP and go directly into your shopping cart. One reminder is in order to get the discount, you need to make sure you enter the promo code LERA20. We will be reminding you guys about this, but as a beta client, you are able to get all the supplements, any supplement you want through this store, and they have thousands and thousands of supplements at 20% off, which is just about at cost. That was actually the lowest that the vendor would allow us to go. So basically today in our LERA store, it's all the supplements that are derived out of our protocols. If there are other supplements that you normally take and you'd love to be able to get that discount, just send us an email with the information about what that supplement is. And actually Lynn and Mark can come up with what they think are the best providers, because that's a really big thing, is making sure you get the right quality of supplement. So feel free to pass those along to us, and we're happy to help with that. And then the final thing before we turn it over to Lynn and Mark is about your wearables. So next week, the health wearables, I'm sorry, I'm like talking lingo that you guys may not be familiar with. So if anybody wears an Apple Watch, we talked about this last week, the Whoop, the Oura Ring, the Fitbit, we will take your health wearable data. We would love it. And we really want to be able to track what's happening with your progress on those biometric data points as you're going through this health journey. So look for an email next week on that. And we'll be reaching out to you guys with that as well. So I think that's it. We're going to turn our camera off and turn this over to Lynn, who's going to kick off the workshop. Okay, so let me go off here. Thanks, you guys.
Hi, everyone. How are you tonight? I am excited to talk about this topic. I kind of geek out on all things diet, exercise. So I'll try to make it fun and not boring. I want to start, though, by talking about, the detox and how the detox went. Jenny, if you want to, thank you. All right, so detox. I'm not sure how many of you on here were able to participate. I would like to know how it went. And I think that I'll just start by sharing how it went for me, and maybe some of our other panelists, other team members can do as well. So you should have hopefully noticed something good or something bad. Most people notice something. If you didn't notice anything, well, I'd rather you feel really bad or really good. For me, I do this 3 or 4 times a year, so I'm kind of used to it. The very first time I did a detox, I broke out into a rash and I thought I had shingles. It was the weirdest thing ever. It just told me that I really had some problems. I really had some toxicity issues I needed to work out. So it's not that dramatic for me anymore, but every single time I do it, it's a great reset for me, both physically and mentally. Physically, I have more energy. Mentally, I feel very clear-headed, and just very sharp. But probably the biggest thing for me is I sleep better. And I know that I sleep better because I feel better. And I know that I sleep better because I wear an Oura Ring, one of the wearables Jenny was just talking about. And I can see that I get deeper sleep, better quality sleep, and more sleep. And so, that tells me that whatever it is I'm removing is probably impacting me negatively. I think I know what it is, but, none of us are perfect, and we can't be so restrictive all the time. And that's why I do it 3 or 4 times a year, because I think it's a good reset for me to get me back on track. I also notice, and I'm wondering what you guys notice about what you feel like you missed out on, and when you had your cravings and what you were craving. So for me, it's like in the evenings, I'm used to having some type of carb or, small piece of dark chocolate after dinner, or just that little thing that I was missing, that I was looking for. And so it's good to identify that and what that is, but it's also good to ask yourself, what is it that that thing gives you? For me, it feels like comfort or habit, or I'm not even sure. That's one thing that's like, why do I want that piece of chocolate after dinner every night? So I think it's a good to kind of step back and evaluate those types of cravings and habits and what you're using it for. And is there any way that you can accomplish that doing something else? So is there any way that I could get that comfort and relaxation after dinner without a piece of chocolate, or without, some type of carb? And so that's, I think, useful to explore. I would love to hear from anybody who's willing, either if it's on my team or anybody out there, to share what you felt, or you can type it in the chat or in the Q&A, or if you'd like to raise your hand and speak, that would be awesome. Also, anybody at all with any feedback? Team members included.
Philip, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Philip might have to unmute.
Wait, did that work now?
There you go. Hi, Philip.
Hey, I'm so sorry about that. Hey, I'm here with my wife, April. We were just kind of sharing our experience. We're doing this together. We definitely did notice a difference. I would say the last few nights, at least, of it, we actually didn't have improved sleep quality. I think I ended up waking up at least multiple times most of the night. So I didn't feel in the mornings like I actually got much sleep. My wearable actually said maybe I actually did have more sleep cycles than I thought. And I didn't necessarily feel tired during the day. It was just like in the mornings waking up, I definitely was like, man, I feel like I woke up a bunch last night. Mentally, I did feel pretty clear and at work, and just some of the problem sets we were working through, I was able to focus on them. I definitely noticed in the evenings, and really, I think during the day, I'm probably a really big snacker at different times. So just looking for more of like the things I would go to for snacking, and realizing, oh, like I shouldn't be eating those things right now. Definitely some habitual things going on, or skipping the morning coffee. That was pretty big.
Yeah, that's great. Go ahead, April.
Sorry, thank you. Yes, and I just wanted to say, Lynn, thank you for saying whether it was good or bad, what did you notice? Because I was like, I'm afraid I'm going to be the only person who noticed something that like wasn't great. And personally, I just felt like completely drained. So yeah, I did not know what that was about, but I definitely noticed that I was very tired. And to be fair, we also have a 3-month-old baby.
Yeah, she's got a 3-month baby at home. So.
But yes, we're so tired. And then when you were talking about kind of the dark chocolate that you like for me, I love like a vanilla yogurt. And I'm wondering what it is about that like I was wanting so badly. It's definitely sweetened, but I think it's also just because it's so convenient and it's fast, and it like makes me feel full quickly because it's so fatty and has a good amount of protein. So yeah, that was it. I was like, I wanted yogurt really badly.
Yeah. So a couple comments to both of you. The feeling drained thing, completely normal. And again, that was me when I first started doing this. I felt pretty bad, actually, my rash that I had, and tired and headaches. That used to happen to me a lot. And that's normal. That just means that you've probably not done this many times before. There's more toxicity that needs to be cleared through your system. There's a lot more stored up. So you're definitely going to feel worse if you're not used to doing this kind of thing. And even to Phil with the sleep issues, there's a lot of detoxing going there. Your body's doing a lot of stuff that it doesn't normally do. And your body does a lot of stuff at night when you sleep. So again, if you're kind of new to this, I'm not surprised that some of you might have felt a little bit more disturbed sleep because of how much was going on and how much repair is actually happening at night, more so than happens during the day. So the night, yeah, that's not an uncommon report. Again, I'm just a little different because I've done this 20 times probably. But if you're not used to it, you're much more likely to feel worse than better. But thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. We did get a comment in the chat, and this person felt great, more energetic, lost 3.5 pounds. And she's continuing her detox moving forward, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Missing coffee. Yeah. So for those of you who did the gave up caffeine, how did that go? Any thoughts on that? Did anybody was anybody able to do that? Or alcohol? Caffeine or alcohol, those are two biggies for people. Or is it just easy?
Tara, go ahead. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Sure. That was actually my comment that you just read, Lynn. But
Yeah.
I gave up alcohol and caffeinated coffee, and the alcohol wasn't so hard, but I've been through detoxes similar to this probably a handful of times, maybe 5 times. I didn't have a great timeline to detox from the caffeine before I did this. So I had a screaming headache for about 3 days, but finally that subsided. And yesterday I woke up better. Yesterday was day 4 of my detox. No, I'm sorry. Yesterday was day 5 of my detox. And I woke up this morning and I felt fantastic. And I went to the gym and I worked all day, and there are often times where I'm like slumping at 3 o'clock. I have not had that for the last 2 days. So giving the caffeine up, which I've done before, but this time it seemed harder to do. And that headache was really making me feel conflicted about it. But I would even be happy to just have caffeine or not have caffeine, have coffee, even if it was decaf. Like I miss the ritual and the habit of having coffee.
Yeah, that's great. And that pattern is something we also see where you feel a little worse in the beginning, and then by the end of the week you feel better. And again, the more you do this, the less hard it will be and the more benefits that you'll see. So yeah, I think that's wonderful feedback, Tara. Thank you. It kind of brings up the next point. Does anybody else want to share? Or
Yeah, Margie, go ahead. We'd like to hear from you on this.
Hello.
Hi.
I just wanted to say that it's been amazing. I feel great. I mean, that's not to say I haven't had my hangry moments, but it's just made me realize how much crap I've eaten, and I love drinking like the nettle tea and all the weird teas. I'm a tea drinker, so I mean, I miss my caffeine, but I've just replaced it with that. And the ritual of that has totally taken away my craving for my tea, my regular tea. And yeah, I just think it's great. No alcohol. I thought I would be a big crab, not being able to go out with friends and stuff, but I went out last night. It was great. Had a ball. Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, I love the statement that you said. It made me realize how much crap. And I think that's part of our, our ulterior motive in the method to our madness is to start to bring those exact insights to light for everyone. It really makes you stop and think, well, wait, maybe I eat more processed food than I think I do. All of it, even all of us. I think I eat pretty good, but every time I do this, I'm like, yeah, okay. So even though I'm picking out the healthiest granola bar it's still from a box, it's still processed, and I still need to cut that out during this time frame. And so, you know, there's just always, we're never going to be perfect with this, but I hope that you'll see that you guys saw that there is such value in just taking a step back and looking at exactly what you're eating and recognizing how certain things make you feel or not feel when you eat it or don't. I think we have one more comment from someone.
Yes, go ahead, Lisa. You might have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go for
Yeah.
it.
I have to say, I was having like migraine headache after migraine headache before this. Like 2 weeks ago, I had 7 migraine headaches in 9 days. And like, I don't want to be that person, but I did this detox and still haven't had a migraine. And I didn't think I was eating that poorly before, but I am not going off this detox anytime soon. I have cravings for ice cream, but I'm like, okay, strawberries. But I have had energy and my stomach doesn't hurt anymore. And I guess it's a lot of gut bugs, but honestly, I haven't felt this good in a super long time. So I'm just really thankful that I started this, and I'm looking for the support of a health coach, because I have kind of restricted my diet to things that I know that I will eat. And that, you know, I don't like chia seeds, for example. Like, I'm not sure what to replace that for fiber, but I had like day 3 was horrible for me for cravings, but after that, like, I just don't want to go back because I don't want those headaches coming back. I really can't believe that they went away.
I was a headache person too. And it takes a while to figure that out, what it is. And we're going to talk about that in a second, how to figure that out. Testing can help, but also, you know, testing with your body can help. But that's amazing. That's fantastic. I love hearing that. That's exactly why we're doing this, so we can figure this out. Your body is your best petri dish, right? Your body is your best laboratory to figure these things out. And sometimes you have to take things out and put them back in to figure out what it is. But whatever it is, your body really likes it, right, Lisa? So that's amazing. I think we had a question that I would like to address. Is there anything I can take to help if I'm getting rashes from detox? Hello, rashes. Yes, that's me. So that means something. And we will get into this topic with you when we get your personalized health plan back, because it almost assuredly means that you have a toxic overload problem, which is one of the root causes that we're going to really dive into with each of you. And yes, for now, the answer is hydration. I don't know if you were doing any lemon water that kind of helps flushes things out through the liver more efficiently, but definitely you want to hydrate and use a little lemon water. You could use a little milk thistle, which is something that we talked about earlier, some liver support through the milk thistle product. And we can get you that info, but it will pass. It's annoying. It's weird. It's a little freaky, but it's just your body getting rid of those toxins. It's going to come out somehow. You're either going to pee them out, poop them out, or sweat them out. It's going to come out through your skin, or you're going to excrete them in your bowel or your pee. It has to come out. So for you, it's coming out in your skin. You could, I don't know if you have access to a sauna, gentle sauna, that can help sweat it out. But it's going to come out. It's trying to come out. You just got to let it flush out, and it'll pass. I don't want to freak you out, but it's just something that your body's doing to help expel those toxins. It's actually a good thing. It may not feel good, but look at it like a good thing. Like, thank you, body. Thank you for getting rid of this stuff. And then another comment, the big wow was going back to eating my regular foods and realizing I feel kind of icky. Yes. Okay. That's the next topic, is what are we going to do about that? So let's move on. We got a lot more that we need to cover. All right. So what do we do? Option 1, stay on it. Some of you said, I'm never going back. Yeah, you don't have to. There's nothing bad about what we're doing. There's nothing bad about the way you're eating on this detox. And there's no reason why you have to go back. You're getting everything you need. You're not depriving yourself of anything. And, you can absolutely continue it. Option number 2, slowly add things back in one at a time. And you can do that. And when I say one at a time, you add back in potatoes. You wait a few days, you see how you feel. You add back in corn. You wait a few days, you see how you feel. You add back in gluten. You wait a few days, see how you feel. My only suggestion would be, if you've been off sugar for 5 days, don't go back. Really try not to go back. That one, there's no redeeming value in that, really. I'm not saying never, but if you're someone who's used to eating sugar every day and now you've taken it out, try not to go back to an everyday sugar eater. Try to make it just an occasional treat. Option 3 is just go full bore and just go back to the way you're eating, which it sounds like maybe a couple of you did. I don't really recommend that, because then if you do feel icky, you don't know what made you feel icky. So then you kind of have to go backwards and say, okay, what was it? What was it? Which thing was it that I would put back in that's making my body so angry? We will be giving you some more customized recommendations about this when we give you your PHP, your personalized health plan. Because remember, well, you may not realize this, but part of what we did in the screening for everyone was we checked you for whether or not you had a gluten or dairy intolerance. So we're going to know right off the bat whether it was those 2 big things. So we'll be able to tell you that right away. And for some of you, we will be recommending digging even further. If we found issues with gluten or dairy, we may want to check for even more food sensitivities through a more in-depth panel that we have. So we're going to be able to give you some more insight into that. But, for those of you who feel great, there's absolutely no reason why you have to go back to the old way. And that's what I try to do. I try to maintain this as long as I can. And then slowly but surely things creep back in, and that's fine. But now that you've got this momentum going, keep it going. There's no reason why you have to go back. All right, so I kind of want to move forward and kind of set the stage for you, what we're getting ready to talk about next. This is a little preview of what you're going to see on your personalized health plan. We talked a little bit about this last week with this concept of this iceberg, where the tip of the iceberg are your symptoms, and underneath the surface are what's causing you to have those symptoms. And at the base of that is what we call the foundations, which is what we're talking about tonight. Nutrition, sleep, stress, and exercise. So again, one of the reasons that we did this detox was to already plant this seed in your brain about how important those foundations things are. Some of you already noticed how important those dietary changes were. Your headaches went away. You had more energy. You had more mental clarity. All we did was change your diet for 5 days. Isn't that amazing? So imagine the potential that we have when for only 5 days, we've already made such huge strides in some of your health. That's amazing. That's why I geek out on this stuff, because it's so powerful. So let's dive in. We're going to briefly touch on each 4 of these, and we're going to start with a little quiz. So I'm going to hand it over to Alex, and get out a piece of paper and pencil if you'd like, and see how many of these you can get right. So we're going to have a little poll. You can go ahead and answer on your screen. What percentage of adults consume the recommended amount of fruits in a day? Take a guess. Does everybody know how to vote?
I see the votes coming in. We'll give it like 10 more seconds.
Okay. Feel like we should play a little Jeopardy music or something.
Yes. All right. I will share the results.
All right, cool. So the correct answer is only 21%. So good job, 60% of you, 9 people. Isn't that amazing? And get this, only 10% consume the right amount of vegetables. So we're all extremely deficient in 2 of the most powerful food groups we've got, fruits and vegetables, because they contain so many good things, phytonutrients, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. It's like nature's medicine. And we don't eat enough of it. None of us do. Next question, please. According to WHO, the World Health Organization, what percentage of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes could be prevented if people ate healthier?
Responses are coming in. We'll give it a
All righty.
seconds. All right. Here we have the results.
Oh, guys, you guys are smart. Yes, it's 80%. That blows my mind. It should blow your mind. And the reason for this, and people, I mean, I guess you guys understand it, but chronic disease are really diseases of lifestyle. You are not doomed to get heart disease or diabetes just because your family members do. You are not doomed to get dementia or Alzheimer's just because it runs in your family. There's many of what we call chronic diseases that are just lifestyle diseases. That's why I'm so excited about this topic, because we have the power. If there was a drug that was as effective as diet is and how it can prevent and treat your symptoms, it would be considered a wonder drug. We have that in the palm of our hand every day with the choices that we make. It's just a matter of doing it, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Next slide, please. And I'm going to kind of like pick up the pace a little bit because I don't want to run out of time. Some of these are just some more facts that I think are compelling. Unhealthy diet contributes to 678 unnecessary deaths a year, mostly due to obesity. 25% of overall cancer cases could be prevented with dietary changes. Again, food is medicine. Thank you, Cheryl. Absolutely right. People who follow healthy diets are less likely to develop dementia and Alzheimer's. Have you heard the term Alzheimer's is like diabetes type 3? What that means is that they found such a strong link between dementia and Alzheimer's and who has diabetes that now they're actually coining that as a phrase. You don't want to get Alzheimer's. One of your best tools of prevention is don't get diabetes. Keep your blood sugar at a good level at all times, and you're going to dramatically decrease your risk. We have the power to do this. I do want to spend a little bit, just a brief moment on sugar, because that's, if food is our medicine, like sugar is the poison. Sugar is the opposite. Sugar is everything bad. If you flip to the next screen, Jenny. This is a little busy, but basically it just shows you that sugar impacts everything, every part of your body, from the tip of your brain down to your toes. It impacts your mood, brain fog, your heart. Of course, it causes weight gain, especially that little tire around the middle, because that's because of insulin resistance. Your gut microbiome is thrown off. It impacts your hormones. It increases inflammation. If any of you felt less achy, if you had any improvements in your overall, how your body felt, that could be because you gave up sugar. Sugar is extremely inflammatory. For people who are like all of us, care about how we look, right? It causes more wrinkles. It makes us look bad. It could bags under our eyes. It disrupts your sleep, and studies show that it's more addictive than cocaine. So if you find yourself struggling with being off sugar, it's not because you're weak or you don't have willpower. It's because you're addicted. It's truly a drug to our brains. Next slide, please. All right, quiz time. Poor sleep. We're going to the next foundation block. Poor sleep increases your risk of dementia and cognitive decline by what percentage? Poor sleep. How much do you think it impacts your risk of dementia?
Give it a couple more seconds here for any last responses.
Okay. I bet you guys know this too. Should have made these harder.
Pretty good split here. What do you think, Lynn?
Oh, okay. So the answer is 56%. And this is a study that came out not that long ago. This blows my mind too. This is why I spend so much time talking to my patients about sleep. One of the many reasons is because how impactful it is. I'll get a little bit more into that in a second, but let's go to the next question to keep it moving. Oh, go back one. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. You are 7.5 times more likely to have a BMI, higher BMI, if you sleep less than how many hours a night? So sleep directly impacts your weight. If you don't sleep, you're going to be heavier. What's the hours that you think that the cutoff is?
All right, results coming right now.
Oh, okay. Got you guys on this one. It's 6. So if you're sleeping 6 or less hours a night, you're more likely to be overweight. It's that simple. There's many mechanisms for that. There's a few hormones that you make at night. One is called ghrelin and one is called leptin. You might have heard of some of these. Ghrelin is a hormone. It's a hunger hormone. So when you have ghrelin, you're more hungry. And leptin is the hormone that makes you feel full. It's a satiety hormone. It turns off that hunger. So the balance between those two hormones gets really messed up when you don't sleep. So during the day, you tend to overeat and you don't have that signal for when to stop. That's just one of the ways that sleep impacts your weight. Next slide. Yeah, I'm going to kind of speed up a little bit. The only thing on this slide that I want to mention, well, again, it contributes to many different conditions: heart disease, diabetes, obesity, low energy, low motivation, food cravings, anxiety, and depression. One thing I want to mention that we'll be talking to some of you about is sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is an often overlooked and undiagnosed condition that contributes to heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. And many people don't know they have it. If you snore, you should be checked. If you snore and you have unexplained daytime sleepiness, if your partner notices that you snore, if your partner notices that you have episodes in the middle of the night where it seems like you're stopping breathing momentarily, you should be checked for sleep apnea. It's a lot easier to do that than it used to be. You used to have to go sleep at a sleep center all night, and nobody can do that. They've made home sleep study kits now that make it a lot easier. We're going to talk to you about some habits. I'm not going to spend too much time on that now. Yeah, okay. Next slide, please. Sleep deprivation. Again, this is just showing that it pretty much impacts every system in your body. It increases inflammation. It increases your risk of diabetes. It decreases your immune response. It has a huge effect on your mood. If you don't sleep, you're much more likely to have anxiety and depression, cognitive decline, which we just saw the slide on. So it's a big deal. Sleep is extremely important. Okay, we're going to move on to stress. This is my personal favorite, this topic. Medical research estimates that as much as blank % of illness and disease is stress related. What do we got, Alex?
All right, ending it in 3, 2, 1. Here's the results.
Okay. The actual answer is 90%.
Wow.
90% of illness and disease is either caused by or exacerbated by stress. And I believe that to be true, without a doubt. Thousands of patients that I've seen over the years, stress is almost always a component of chronic disease. That it's kind of sitting there insidiously in the background, making everything worse, without a doubt. Want to flip to the next one? Stress contributes to all the following health conditions except, this is an easy one. This is a giveaway. You don't even have to think about this.
All right, we'll give it a couple more.
Ta-da!
Yeah, when there's an all of the above on there, feel safe,
Pick
right?
that one. Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go.
Yeah, all the above. Yes, it does contribute to hormonal imbalance. Absolutely. In many ways, especially if you have a irregular menstrual cycle and you're really stressed out, that's one of the main ways. It'll screw up your cycle without a doubt. It'll decrease your testosterone levels for both men and women. For young men, it's one of the main reason young men have low testosterone, if we find that to be the case, is because of stress. I'm going to flip the screen. I want to talk a little bit briefly about this. We're going to talk more about this topic next week, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But basically, our brain is wired for survival. It's wired to fight or flee that tiger in an acute stress situation. We are not meant to be walking around in a state of chronic stress. When that happens, all of our systems get thrown off. Our autonomic nervous system is the system responsible for this delicate balance between fight or flight and rest and digest. And there's also a nerve part of the nervous system called the enteric nervous system that controls all the messages in your gut, sending messages from your gut to your brain, from your brain to your gut. There's a nervous system that actually does that, and it's called the enteric nervous system. That's why you might have heard the term, your gut is your second brain. There's a direct connection. And the vagus nerve, again, we're going to talk about all this next week, is basically a superhighway of communication between your brain and your body. So if you've got some uncomfortable symptom in your body somewhere, your vagus nerve sends that signal to your brain freaks out and it says, why is my knee hurt? And that sets into motion the spiral of activity, of stimulation. And your brain says, uh-oh, threat, there's a threat, my knee hurts, that's a problem, that's a problem. And that can lead to anxiety, that can lead to depression, that can lead to mood issues. So there's all kinds of very interesting things we're going to talk about next week, and so many things that you can do to help this too. And that's why I really love this topic, because again, we're more empowered than we know we are to fix this stuff. If you can fix and control your stress, if you can mitigate how stress impacts your body, because we all have stress, but how do you get it to not cause dysfunction everywhere in your body? There's absolutely tools and hacks that we can teach you to do that. So it doesn't matter what stress you have, it's kind of like a bounce off you. It's not going to negatively impact the rest of your health. So we're going to talk more about that next week. If you like this topic, you're going to love next week. Not going to spend too much time on this. It basically just shows you that stress screws everything up in your body. Quiz time, last two questions, talking about movement and exercise. Studies show that there is a blank % lower risk of depression and dementia for adults participating in daily activity. Take a quick guess.
All right, poll is
What do we
closing.
got, Alex?
Here we go.
You all got that right. Yeah, that was an easy one. So basically you got to move your body, exercise your body every day, or to some extent every day. Moving your body every day in a way that feels good, not necessarily hitting the gym or hiring a trainer, will lower your risk of depression and dementia without a doubt. Next question, last question. Walking at least how many hours a week was associated in the reduction of the incidence of premature death? So basically, walking how many hours will decrease your chance of death? How many hours a week, not a day? How many hours a week? And what we got, Alex?
All right, I'm closing the poll in 3, 2, 1. It's all the responses. Here's the results.
Oh, and guess what? It's only 2. Only 2 hours a week is all you have to do to reduce your incidence of premature death. That's not much. 2 hours spread out of a whole week. We can all do that, and it matters. It doesn't take much. Keep going. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer. It's obvious. All the good things that physical activity does, increases your energy, helps your ability to cope with stress. One of the things we just talked about, improves your mood, helps your sleep, decreases anxiety, decreases obesity, decreases your risk of dying from cancer. Yeah, it's all good. Again, we have the power to do this. I'm going to call a little bit of an audible on here just because of time. Briefly, I want to talk about wearables and why they matter. It's just because all the things we just talked about, sleep, stress, activity levels, they can all be tracked using a wearable. That's why we are so excited about incorporating this into what we're going to be able to help you guys with. And it doesn't directly track your diet, but it can show you in real time how what you eat and when you eat impacts those other things. So yeah, sorry, I'm gonna move on just so we can be sure to finish. Fitbit on sale for
Lynn, one quick question we did get on wearables is there a preferred wearable?
For right now, no. I mean, I don't want to bias you guys with my preference necessarily. I have an Oura Ring. I know several of us have a Whoop. Those are the two that we're most familiar with, but they all do basically the same thing. That can tell you a lot about your sleep. I think the stages of sleep are important. They tell you about HRV, heart rate variability, which is a measurement of how strong and resilient your autonomic nervous system is. And they all somewhat tell you about activity level and give you some type of readiness score for the day. So they all generally do the same thing. It's kind of preference. I like a ring because I don't want to wear a thing on my, so there's some personal preference there. But I don't care at this point. Okay. The elephant in the room. What do I mean by that? All this is great. We all know this though. The elephant in the room is I could sit here and talk to you for 5 hours about how important diet, sleep, stress, and exercise is. And you've probably heard it all. And I'm not going to dazzle you with statistics, or maybe I did. The problem is how you take action. What are you going to do with this information? And it has a lot to do with the science of behavior change. Believe it or not, there's people that study this stuff. You want to go to the slide, Jenny? There are many reasons that get in the way of us taking that information, and then doing something about it. Our brain chemistry gets in the way. Serotonin, if it's low, you crave carbs. Dopamine, if it's low, that's your pleasure reward pathway. So it needs to be stimulated somehow. That's alcohol, that's marijuana. Norepinephrine, if it's low, you might like coffee. So there's brain chemistry imbalances that may impact what we crave. There's hormone problems when we have dysregulated blood sugar. If our blood sugar is too low or going all over the place, we're going to crave sugar. Why? To get your blood sugar back up. You may be in certain situations, like someone was mentioning, going out in a social situation. People around you might be having alcohol. You might just want to fit in. It might just be part of what the group is doing. It might be habits that you have that are hard to break. But one of the main things is your brain likes the same. Even if what you're doing is dysfunctional, your brain likes to be the same dysfunction every day after day after day. Your brain doesn't like change. It's one of those things that triggers that fear response, believe it or not. It's one of those things that triggers anxiety. Your brain would rather stay stuck, even if it's something that's not great for us, than have the discomfort of moving to something new. New slide. So the people that study this, they see about where you are in the change process. You might just be not even know that you have a problem. That's pre-contemplation. Contemplation is you know you have a problem, but that's it. You just have you have a problem. Preparation is you're ready to be open to learning more about it. You're starting to think that it might be important for you to do something. The action stage, which is where I hope some of you guys are, is like, okay, I'm ready to do something. Tell me what to do. And then you get to maintenance, and then we have relapse. And there's the stages of all of this process of change. And the good thing about what LERA is going to be able to provide you is we don't care where you are in this process. We're going to meet you where you are. We're going to help you meet your goals, whether you're just thinking about it or where you're ready to take action. We're here to help you. Next slide, please. So working with thousands of people over the last 20 years, there's two main things that I've come to the conclusion of are absolutely true. regardless of what all those other things I said on the other slide about brain chemistry and habits, blah, blah, blah. The main two things that make people do something different. People decide to take action when they've come to the place in their life where the discomfort of staying the same starts to outweigh the discomfort of making a change. So they've decided that I can no longer tolerate my migraine headaches. I can no longer tolerate my stomach making me crazy every day. I can no longer tolerate my joint pain. I'm done. And even though I know that change is going to be hard, staying where I am seems a heck of a lot worse than moving forward. That's when they show up in my office. That's when they're ready to do something. The other thing is people decide to take action when they have a big MOFA. What's that? Motivating factor. Something in their life that's motivating to make the change. Maybe you are a grandparent who wants to be alive a long time to play with your grandkids. Maybe you have a class reunion coming up and you want to lose weight. Whatever big motivating factor. Maybe you have a relative that has Alzheimer's and you don't want to get it. There's be some big thing in your life that's big enough for you to overcome that feeling of discomfort. Those two things I see over and over again is what motivates people to make change. Next slide, please. So the big takeaways from this. Hopefully, I know I went through this kind of fast and I, in retrospect, had more material than we had time for. But hopefully what I planted the seed that what you eat, how well you sleep, how your body handles stress, whether or not you move your body, those are the foundations of optimal health. They impact everything else in your body. If you make those little micro choices every day that we're all faced with, the good news, bad news is those micro choices that we make every day are the most impactful things about your health, period. That's why we put them at the bottom of our iceberg. That's why we call them the foundations. That's why we're going to spend a lot of time talking to you guys about this in your personalized health plan. And when you talk to the health coaches are masters of behavior change. So they are trained to help, again, meet you where you are in that change process and guide you to make those, implement these changes, whether it's baby steps or big action steps. They're going to help you do that. So we're out of time, but I want to make sure that if anybody does have any questions, that we can address them. I'm so sorry that went a little long. Do we have any questions, Alex, or?
We are all wrapped up on the questions.
Okay. Any team member have anything else to say?
Just feel free, everyone, to share these workshops with your friends and family. It does not matter if they do not live in the state of Maryland. This is open to everyone. We want as many people to be exposed to this world of the way that we go about helping transform people's health. And I would love for you all to share it out to your network and let people sort of get an insider glimpse of what's happening at LERA. And in 2024, they can have an opportunity to become a member as well.